Hey guys, it's Tarek with Cyclone FPV. Sorry, I am 5 minutes late. I apologize. It's been a little crazy this evening, and I've got things binging left and right around here. So bear with me a second. Let me see what's happening here. I got so many messages here. I'm trying to make sure that I get this right because we're in for a long haul right now, right? We've got quite a bit of stuff going on. I'm going to try and see if I can get this all to work with the new apps that we've got. So bear with me. Let me see if I can get this to work. Bear with me a second. Let me try this. Okay. All right. Sorry. Had to get this last piece out here. Okay. So let me get this. Let me see where this chat stuff is. I'm trying to find it here, and I cannot get it to come up. So let me see. And such is the joy of having live. Sometimes when things go wrong, they go wrong. All right. So, okay. So here's what we're going to be doing, right? So we're going to be, going over a QX7. And I thought about this. Now, I think I've got the comments going, so I think I'm okay there. Let me check my screens, make sure everything else is set here. And I think we're good. Okay. All right. Hey, guys. Okay, so I see you guys shouting. There is, I think, about a 30-second delay or so. I think I've got some coffee good. I think a lot of things right now. It's 1 o'clock in the morning, and that means I'm just getting started, actually. This is when everybody's sleeping, and I'm not taking time away from family, so let's have some fun. So, with all the stuff that we've been doing, hey, Julio, with all the stuff that we've been doing with videos and, doing FrSky stuff and doing transmitters and receivers and long range and blah, 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 there seem to be a lot of questions still coming out, okay? How do I set it up? It's not working the way you did it. I watched your video. I followed every step. I downloaded the files. And here's the thing. At the end of the day, the majority of people are saying, it's got to be the equipment. The equipment's faulty. And I'm like, no. Okay, look. I get equipment can be bad, okay? But it can't be that bad because they wouldn't be around. So, and then usually either the equipment gets sent here and I do it and it gets sent back. There's something that's always missed, okay? And so at the most, what I'll ask you is when you do get that frustrated and you find yourself like, God darn it, this shouldn't be taking this long. Well, two things I want to remind you of. One, it should take that long because it's not supposed to be easy. Like if it was easy, I wouldn't have a job. So thank you for it not being easy because then people have to actually, ask for help. And so, and number two, it's pretty high-tech stuff. As cheap as it is sometimes and as inexpensive as it can be, it's still high-tech, all right? Don't let the price of things fool you on how much technology is involved in it. So if you can't bind your transmitter, your transmitter to your receiver, or you can't get long range to work, let's assume for the sake of this that it's not the hardware, okay? Let's assume it's the end user, which is fine because I was the same person and I still can't get crap to work today sometimes. It's part of it. It's humbling, okay? But what we have to do is get off of blaming the company. And I don't care who it is. It's just, I see more people posting about, that just got to be faulty. And I'm looking and there's this big spit globule of solder right in the middle of the board. I'm like, no, it's not the company. Okay, so I'm not going to waste any time here. I am going to just randomly grab a radio. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go grab a new one, right? Because I said this was going to be new. And to make it work properly, I have to do it new, which sucks because that means I got to open something that otherwise would be sold as brand new. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it, I think, or I may have one I can format. But in either case, I'm going to give so your R9 drops out at 100 milliwatts at 500 meters. Fine. But I get that. But that's not telling me anything right now without... there's more to it. It's like saying, well, my VTX doesn't work and I got it at 600 milliwatts. Well, congratulations. That's great. But there's more to it. I mean, like your antenna mounting. How close is it to the carbon fiber? What other things is it attached to? Where are you flying when that's happening? I'll give you an example. 5.8 gigahertz frequency is the same thing that we use for Wi-Fi, which is why, I'm sorry. This is going on VTX. I was giving the example. So when people tell me about their VTX, for example, and I'm like, well, look, the 5.8 is the same as the Wi-Fi, which is why when I turn it on here, it knocks out half my Wi-Fi. So when people say, well, it's at 600 milliwatts and it sucks, I'm going, well, that's not exactly how it's supposed to work, right? There's more to the equation. When it comes to receivers, it's the same thing. You're running on a long-range frequency. You're hoping your antenna is set right. You're hoping it's not near the carbon fiber. You're hoping your transmitter antenna is angled right. You're hoping that everything works in line, right? And so there's just more to it than that. So it's not a, hey, if you get this, you're going to fly. I can tell you, I've got the DJI digital goggles, right? I mean, they're awesome. I mean, they're great, right? But under certain circumstances, I can tell you that I start seeing squares popping up, and I'm right about in the same area that I was with my other goggles. Now, it's not as clear, but the signal also isn't coming in perfect, and that's because of the surroundings. So there are other things, and so you can't just blame the equipment. But let's just get to what we're going to do today. We're going to set this up. QX7 you asked for, so it's QX7 we're going to do. I think I have one here that was used that I can open and reload. So we're just going to start from scratch. Ready? So here goes. Let me go grab it real quick. I don't know if I can reach it. I'm kind of short. My wife likes to put everything on the top shelf for some reason. I'm going to knock this down, and if it falls, it knocks me out, no laughing. But I'm not getting a ladder for this, so here we go. I don't know if you guys can see me, but I got to get this box right here. And that means I'm going to push it off the shelf slowly and hope that it doesn't knock me in the head. Okay, and here, live, here we go. Perfect. All right. Oh, and I knocked a drone out of the ceiling. Okay, so let's get to it, shall we? After watching your videos on the QX7, I said, tied my antennas directly to the carbon fiber frame and had such, yeah, you don't want to do that. Hey, Rocky, you don't want to tie your stuff to, I mean, look, man, here's something simple. Here's a good rule to follow, okay? And I'm going to show you by grabbing a drone. So let me grab one real quick. Let's grab this. It happens to be right here. Okay, so check this out. Check this out. Right, this is an awesome frame. This is a super strong frame, right? This is the Alpha RC frame, and I think this is a Raptor. I don't know if it's a 218 or 220 or 240, whatever. But this is the Raptor series frame. Awesome, 6mm arms. It's a beast. Okay, but. Oh, no, the X-Lite models. Yeah, I've got the X-Lites here, compatible with the R9 modules, and I'm putting a entire table together, and I actually got with FrSky on this earlier the week, and they're going to verify what I've done, okay, to make sure it's all good. Oh, look, this one, check this out, guys. I forgot. Thanks to a good friend of mine, I forgot we traded for this, and so this actually has long-range modules and everything in it, so we're going to have some fun. All right, so let's get back to it. So getting back to the frame, right? Here's where they give you these mounts for your antennas, right? But here's the deal. And this is something I learned a little while ago, probably about a year and a half ago, by testing it. I mean, I didn't just take somebody's word for it, I tested it. So I took antenna wire, or antennas, and I would place them along the frame. I would place them above the frame. I would place them below the frame. I would place them on the carbon fiber. And I'm going to tell you flat out, it's night and day difference when something touches carbon fiber and when it doesn't. And what I don't understand is the manufacturers, obviously, they're going to, and this is, like I said, it's a good frame, and my initial frames that I made probably starting 3 years ago, I used to make little holes like this to mount the antennas. And next thing you know, my customers say, hey man, the video sucks. I mean, the signal sucks. I'm like, oh God, you know what? That's got to be it. So we went through it and we took it off. When you put anything in your carbon fiber, it's going to interfere. For the most part, you're going to crap your signal out. So you can run your antennas, you can put shielding, you can get copper tape like I have. You can do things to run it. But if it's going to touch it, if it's going to get close to it, you're going to lose signal, period. So try your best not to do that, all right? And there are ways to do that. Isn't it all just a ground? Well, I'm not going to simplify it as it's all just a ground. Carbon fiber is conductive to begin with. And yes, carbon fiber will actually be whatever you want it to be, not just a ground. So if you use a Racer Star F4 all-in-one that actually has positive going to the poles, to the screw holes, I guess is how it is, no, it becomes positive at that point and not ground. So carbon fiber is, I guess for the sake of saying it, it's going to conduct whatever signal, what is it called? Whatever voltage, whatever signal, positive or negative, it's going to be passing that through. But that's got nothing. That's not the problem right now. The problem is that carbon fiber itself being a conductive material. Now, I'm not going to get into all super nerdy stuff because I will tell you that I cannot tell you the molecular components that make it this way. I'm not even going to try to pretend like I know it all. Some people do, not me. But I will tell you that here's the simple truth. Carbon fiber and antennas don't mix, period. So just use that. We don't need to figure out all the details of why. We can just tell you that test it 100 times and 100 times it'll get a worse signal. Just go with that for now, okay? Now, let's get to our X1 light. Okay, and here we go. So let's do this. And again, thank you to my buddy for, I forgot we made this deal and I ended up with this. So this is so cool. All right, so here we go. Now, 3D print, yeah, exactly. So you can do a 3D print, and that's exactly what we're doing. Sorry, I'm trying to look at the comments as I do this, and I know this is 1 in the morning for me, so it's what, 11 for California, and I don't know, 3 for New York or something like that. I don't expect a lot of people to be watching. I just expect it to have some watch and at least have this video available for everybody else. Hey, listen, yeah, Bryce, hey, Bryce, what are you doing up, man? Hey, listen, I caught my frame on fire, and that's because I use a Racer Star board, and it ran positive, and I had a ground hit it, and I'm telling you, you could run fire across the whole thing. You run that cable, and it's gonna spark the entire way. So let's just say, for the sake of that your antenna is not going to do well against carbon fiber, so make arrangements to not have it on there. Now, we have an X7, QX7, we have an R9M long range, I mean, it just happens to be in here, and we have, I guess these are R9 minis or R9MMs, I won't know until I look at them. And then we have our antenna, and we have our update. No, I'm not going to use that. Okay, so 2 a.m. and all right. Well, you know what? I appreciate that, guys. This is, like I said, I like to work late. It's quiet, except for me. I'm noisy, and I need to wipe down this table, and we're going to get started. And we're going to start from scratch. I'm not using any links on my website. I'm just going to do this as if I'm starting brand new and fresh out of the box, which means if something screws up, we're going to have to figure it out together. And that means that I may end up with if my buddy told me some screwed up stuff, we're going to find out. So you better hope you didn't tell me some screwed up stuff. Okay, so we got a somewhat clean table, right? And let's just zoom to right about there. And I'm going to find a source to be able to read what's being written, because as soon as I do this, I will not see any more comments. So let me see how I can make this work. As soon as I start using the computer, I won't be able to watch what's being said. So let me see what I can do here. Hell, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to do that. So I guess we'll just watch the comments and figure it out as well. Okay. All right. So first things first, do I even have a battery in this thing? Nope. Good. So let me go get mine. And I'm going to bring you some radios, guys. Oh, well, but I'll bring them later. But we've got a bunch of radios in here that I use. X90s, X90 2019s. We've got to do the Horus X10, which Bryce has been wanting to get. But I'm not going to sell it to him. I'm going to actually keep it for myself. So sorry. All right, so let's get a battery out. Put my QX7 away. Okay. Now mine works, so I don't want to screw it up. Okay. And I'm going to go grab a memory card. If I can find one. I keep grabbing these damn things. I've gone through 15 memory cards doing these tutorials, and I never find where I put them. Memory card, right here. Okay. All right, guys. So here we go. And you're going to see, if I show you the screen, you taught me, batteries, when I was in Seattle. All right, man, I appreciate you, and that doesn't mean I don't screw up, though. I'll own it. I will screw things up, I promise you. If I can have fires this much into the game, I promise you, I can tear crap up. All right, so here we go. I've got a memory stick. You guys have seen all this before and what I've done, but we're starting from scratch, right? So I'm going to share my screen. You're going to see some of the chatting that you guys are doing because I can't seem to put this away and not see it. So let me see how I can. I'll run it side by side. Just hang tight. Don't tease me. Oh, you know what? Yeah, hold on. So I was thinking, you know, like I was sitting here one day and I was like, golly, what am I going to do? I have this radio here. Oh, you know, and I'm just going to turn it on here and, Welcome to Horus. What? You don't even sound like the first one. God, this has a much better accent. Okay, so, no, this is mine, Bryce. You can't have it now. Too bad. Oh, what? Okay, all right, I'm just teasing. All right, I'm just doing that to piss Bryce off. Let me go put this away. Okay, get off. Yes. Okay. All right, back to reality, guys. Okay, so let's do screen sharing here. And let me get the screen sharing from the PC on. Where are we? Okay, here we go. And we will get the computer here. There it is. Okay. Okay, so I won't put the screen on just yet because I need to format this first and get it ready, right? So first thing is, just so that we know what we're working with, you realize that this is your update pins here, this is your USB here, and then this is where we're going to put our memory stick, right? So let me go ahead and just put in my battery here and close this up so I can at least get started with this part. And if you have questions, guys, I don't know. Make sure if you don't see me looking up and I miss it. Sorry, Bryce. Okay, let's see if this guy sold me a good one. Are we gonna get anything? Okay, so it doesn't speak, and the only reason it doesn't speak is because we have the mini models. Okay, so we're gonna pretend that I don't even know what version is on here. So let's make sure we understand the basics first. Okay, right? Obviously. To get this, we're going to hold the two sliders in. We're at 2.3.2, so we still have room to do an upgrade, so that's going to be perfect. And we need to have our cable, so let me grab the cable real quickly. It should be right around here somewhere. It should be, but everything disappears in this place every once in a while. I'll find it. I think it is on my desk. Yep. Okay, so I've got the cable, and I've got the extension cord, which I like to use. So here's the cable and the extension cord. You will need this. I said you'll need a USB, so let's go ahead and get that plugged in. All right. And for me, I'm going to be using the memory card reader, this one here that I've used before. This is what I'm going to do my formatting with, and we're going to be using Windows for now. So please pay attention to that. If you have a Mac, let me know if none of this makes sense to you. I use a Mac on my other desk, so I'm very familiar with how to do this on a Mac. Okay. So the only thing I don't like is this goofy thing right here. I got to get this off. It's going to bother me, but for right now, let's just power it off. Okay, we're starting from scratch, guys, right? So we have two ways to go about doing this. We can either A, start with the memory card, which I don't know where I just put mine. Here it is. All right. Will you isolate the speaker so it won't make the noise with the R? What? It's clapping hands or is that? Wash hands. Good morning. Well, good morning, first of all. I saw that part. I don't understand that. Will you isolate the speaker so it won't make the noise with that? I'm not really sure what I'm getting there. But let me just get to what I'm doing here, and I'll see if I address that. I have no idea. Okay, so here we go. I think what we're going to do is let's go ahead and start by getting our OpenTX done, right? So I'm going to go ahead and get my OpenTX open, and I'll show you guys exactly what we're going to do that. We've done this before, so let me go ahead and just put a bigger screen here, put this here, and there we go, okay? So now you're going to see in the background, like I said, if you see this, you're going to see the chatting here that's going on. That's how I'm watching what's happening behind me over here is right there, okay? So this is the messages that I see, so you guys can see them too. All right. Now, let's see. If you don't have OpenTX, so then, oh, and now you can see my face too. We're going to get rid of that because that's just going to be too much. Let's go to opentx.org. So here we go. And I'll shrink this down just in case anybody asks any questions. Okay. And guys, if we have, like, if there are specifics to something outside of this, let me know, because right now I want to make sure I address, like, for people getting started for the first time, and you know, and we'll take it from there. And it's good, you know, to cut time. All right, so here we go. Exchange noise, more watts. More noisy. I'll check it. I think that's what he. Let me see. Well, hold on, Bryce. Let me see what you said. Under high amp drop from the module, the stick speaker can develop a buzzing sound when the module is running. Yeah, I guess I'll check. I mean, we'll figure it out. I'm not pumping this up to 100 watts, so I'm using 10. I mean, not 100 watts. 100 milliwatts. I'm using 10 milliwatts on mine for right now. Okay, so I guess we'll see and look at it, but I have not had to push mine beyond that for what I'm doing. But we'll address it in a minute. Right now, we're going to go over the binding part of it and getting all that done. And we can look at the rest of this later. The biggest issue people have is that they can't even get it to bind right now. So let me, if you can get it to bind, and your biggest thing is buzzing, then what is that stock? What do you use? Oh, the stock speaker. Oh, I was wondering what a stick speaker was. I figured I'd figure it out in a minute. All right, anyways, let's just keep going. Okay, so let's go on to OpenTX for now. Bryce, you're going to have to at least type properly if you're going to be taking part in this, okay? I can't deal with this non-typing crap. All right, there we go. All right, so let's go, and we're going to go to OpenTX, open-tx.org. Okay, and from there, we're going to scroll down. Now, I've already got this loaded, but I guess I can uninstall it if I want. So let's do this. Let's go to, we're going to take 2.3.7 right here on news. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and find the download link, and we're going to do this for Windows. So we're going to use a Windows installer 2.3.7. So just click that. This will be like my 50th time to do this. Fits, I'm not really sure what that's about, but okay. Hey, listen, I'm telling you right now that I have started loading firmware for people. I mean, I've just decided, you know what, forget it. We're just going to do this here. So you order from me, I'll just get it done. I mean, we charge a small fee, I think it was. But I mean, depending on it, you know, it's like, I got one right now. It's got, you know what, I should have done his. That'll be the next one I do. So we'll do a video on the X9D Plus 2019 because that's what he's got here with 2 modules. So, but let's get started here. And I just like, whatever, man. I want people to not have such a hard time, right? Okay, so here we go. We got 2.3.7. It's been downloaded. Now look, when you run this, you're going to run it like normal. You're going to install it like normal, and this is pretty simple. Just click next and keep going. Don't worry about all this stuff, right? Let's not make it a bigger issue than it is. This is the easy part. So once we get that in, next, and then we're going to say run it. Now, when you run it for the first time, you're going to get a splash screen here, and it's going to say something about setting up a model. Just click whatever you have to so that it doesn't pop back up. I think there's a little checkbox that says, don't show me this again, or something like that, and get out of it so that we can get back to where we're at. And this is where we're at right here, okay? So from here, this is where everything comes together, and you have got to do this right from the beginning if you want to stay organized and understand what the hell you're doing. So here we go. First thing is, we are going to select our model, which we've done before. We're going to do it again. So we're going to go to settings, and we're going to go to radio profiles, and you won't have all these, okay? And I'll delete them, but I'm going to set this up as my final QX7, meaning I will not do another video on the QX7 when it comes to doing this part because it's not on the ACCST version because it's not making any sense anymore. So we're going to do add radio profile, right? And here's where we're going to select. And again, we're going to keep this simple, guys. This is not going to be an advanced version of this video, so let's keep it simple and do this. First thing we're going to do is we're going to title this, and I'm going to title it Final QX7, and then I'm just going to put the date, so 050720. All right, that's it. It's final. Then we're going to come down here. We're going to go to the radio type, and we're going to drop down here, and we're going to say we want the QX7. Okay, so you have the QX7, the QX7S. Now the X7 and the X7S Access are on their way to my store, but that's not what we're doing today. Okay, so just wait on those and go with this one. The QX7 or the X7, the X7S. Click that, bam. All right. Now for the rest of this, just for the heck of it, go ahead and select your flex. Do your Lua, do your, I like the font. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me if you have to or not. Just do it and you'll be fine, okay? We can explain it all later, but I want to keep moving along. So you have these 4 options set. Just set them. Now, in your SD structure path, you don't have that yet because we haven't downloaded the file yet, right? Assuming we're doing this brand new. So just click select folder and find a folder that you want to use from now on. Now, I'm going to use the desktop because I've put this, what is the files on this? What is the file? Who is the person behind? Shut up. I don't like playing jokes like that, Bryce. I scared the crap out of me. Okay, look. So let's try this again because I don't know what was just asked of me. So what is the files on this page? Explain to me what you mean and I'll answer that. But I don't know what you mean right now, so I'm just going to keep going. I know, Bryce, I got it. Okay, so look, again, select your radio, do all this. Click these 4 for right now. Just leave it alone and do that. Now, select the folder. You don't have it yet. I'm going to set it up on the desktop. So in my desktop, I'm going to create a folder called Final QX7. Make it whatever you want. It doesn't have to be like that, but just do whatever you want. All right, Final QX7. All right, and then in here, I'm going to make a folder, a new folder called SD card. Okay, just follow me. Change it later, but just follow me for now. I also know that I need to make a backup folder, so I'm going to make another one called backup. Again, just do it. No arguing. Okay, I know, right? It freaked me out. I'm like, damn it, Bryce. Almost scared the crap out of me. Okay, now it's asking for the SD card folder path. So what we're going to do is we're going to click SD card and click select folder. That's our folder path for the SD structure path, okay? We have a backup folder path, and I just said make a backup folder. So click the select folder and go to your desktop, find your there, and there it is, backup. Click it and click select folder. So far so good, right? We're good. All right. We're going to enable automatic backups before writing firmware. The default channel order is fine. And we are going to do the following, I guess. These really don't matter that much, but just do them anyway. The version number I've kind of debated on because it makes the file even that much longer, but I like it. At least it lets me keep track. And then the right to after download is cool too. I don't care. Okay, application settings. Let's look at these and just make sure yours match mine, okay? Splash screen, that's fine. I don't mind it. You can also have your own. Automatic check for firmware updates, yes. Check for companion updates, yes. Releases is stable. You have options here. You're not a tester, so don't go into testing. You can use the model wizard if you want. And then let me see. I have my backup. For here, my automatic backup is going to go to my desktop and go back to that folder that's backup as well, assuming you don't have another one already set. Okay? Enable automatic backup before writing your firmware. Yes. Leave everything else alone and click OK. Now, what you've done is you've told OpenTX your radio, what additions to the firmware you want added to it, and you've told it all the little things that you need as far as how to write it, when to write it, and so forth. Now, here's where it gets good, right? So we have got to now connect our radio, okay? Now, I have not formatted mine or reset it to factory, and I'm not going to. I'm just going to take it like it's out of the box with whatever came on it, and I am going to take my... I'm going to take my cable because I want to make sure you can at least do this part, right? I'm not even going to do the SD card yet. I'm just going to do this so that we can make sure we're all on the same page. Got this long extension cable, just to bear with me, okay? So, here's what we're going to do now, all right? We are going to take our radio. We are going to take the sub trims and we are going to push them into the center, like that. We are going to press the power button and let all of them go at the exact same time in less than a second. Ready? So here goes. Hold on. Like, I can't even get sarcastic faces because I didn't put my face on there. You got to at least see the sarcasm, okay? Okay, good. Here goes. Hold them in. Press the power, let go. Oh, a little bit longer than that. Okay, there you go. See it? There it is. Boom, right there. Okay? Firmware, bootloaders 2.3.2. Firmware, we're running 2.3.2. Okay? Now, it says plug in or plug in a USB cable or click one of these three options. I'm going to plug in the USB cable. And here goes. Sorry, I'm forgetting which radio I'm on. Here goes. It says USB connected. My little windows made a little bling bling, and there we go, right? Cool. Now, if you look at my screen, hold on, darn it, there and there, boom. This is what pops up. I have no SD card inside this thing, so this is what's on board, okay? And that's my radio, right? Now, here's what I want to do. First thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and click. See this arrow right here? This arrow is what's going to be. Telling us to download. Either we can do OpenTX updates, we can do firmware updates, we can do quite a few things, right? So we're going to click this there. All right, and this is the name of the file based on what we asked. The Flex R9M. The Lewis scripts, the no heli, and then the new font, right? And it's in English. So it tells you basically in blocks all the options that you selected. If you select more, then you're going to see a longer file name, okay? So what we have is we have a download firmware, a check for updates, and a download SD card contents. Here's how we're going to look at this. First, you can click check for updates, okay? This is not a check for updates for your radio. This is a check for updates for OpenTX. So please understand that download firmware is what you're looking for. The check for updates is for the software, the program itself. So don't worry about that with your radio, right? Now, we're going to click download firmware. Here goes. Click. Okay? The download firmware, here's the firmware file. And we're going to go ahead and put that on our desktop in the final QX7. And we're going to make a new folder. And the new folder is, oops, hold on. We're going to make a new folder here because we don't have the SD card contents, the files yet, right? We're going to make a new folder. And we're going to call this folder, let me get a keyboard. We're going to call this folder OpenTX FW. Okay, so that stands for OpenTX firmware. Okay, and we're going to put our file in there. We're going to shrink the file down though. So let's just leave the version number and delete everything else and just call it OpenTX and then just there, all that stuff right there. Okay, and click save. That's going to save it in that folder. Okay, do I want to write it to the radio? Okay. That was the option I had when I did this initially, and it said, did I want to write to the radio? And the answer, sure, why not? We'll go ahead and say yes. So yes. Okay, now you have all these options here. Firmware splash screen is this, fine. Here's your version. Here's where it's getting it from, the folder we just put it in, and it's going to check for hardware compatibility. Let's go. Ready? So we're going to click Write to TX. So far, so good. Everybody's on board. I gotta wait for this. Okay, so now I'm gonna click OK and close. I'm gonna go back to my little download icon right here, and I'm going to say, now I want to download the SD card contents. So I'm gonna click this. Okay, and it's gonna open the OpenTX screen, and I'm gonna go for the newest one, which is 2.3 V0026. Okay, so click that, and it's gonna download to your downloads folder, and it shouldn't take too long, all right? Now, while that's happening, back to my ugly mug here. While that's happening, we're going to go ahead and start getting our SD card ready, right? So I've got the SD card here. It's a 64 meg card. I've shown you before how to make it to 32 so it can read it, or 16 so it can read it. So I'm going to do that again real quick using Windows, okay? So let's get back to business here. There we go. All right, brother, take care. Family first, bro. I feel you. Okay, so while that's downloading, I'm going to go ahead and take the memory stick, and I'm going to go ahead and put it in my reader. And I can't remember if it goes this way or the other way. We'll go the other way. Let's try that. Okay, now, I don't think I have a port yet to put this on, so I'll find something. Hold on. Let me see if I can do this. Okay, now, while that's happening, guys, pay attention to what I'm going to do on this memory stick. For those of you that, there we go. So I've inserted the card, okay? And you're going to see this thing pop up here in a second, I think. I think it should automatically pop up with folder, but we'll wait and see. I don't see it reading yet, so we're going to wait 1 second. Let me close this and wait. I'm hoping it's going to read it real quickly. And we're still downloading. We're not even halfway there yet. It says we've got about 2 minutes left. So while that's doing that, we can at least accomplish something else. Although I don't see it saying anything about my card yet. So let's see, where am I at? Not yet, doesn't seem to be reading my card yet. Come on. Maybe now. Maybe I didn't put the card right. Hold on. Oh no, I didn't, my bad. My bad. Okay, I did have it in the other way. Sorry. All right, here goes. Let's try this again. Now. Let's see if this pops up. There it is. Okay, so there's my card right there, right? And let's see, here we go. Okay, so at this point, what we're gonna do is we are going to redo this card because this card's set for 64 gigs and the radio's not gonna read that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna right click on the start button, left click on run, and type control and hit enter. So right click on start, left click on run, type control, hit enter, okay? Then we're gonna go to administrative tools. And then what we're gonna do is we are gonna go to computer management. And this is only if you have a 64 gig card, okay? If you have like a 16 gig, fine, don't worry about it. But you're still gonna wanna format it. And if you have a bigger card, and like I did, where I got these cheap, I'm gonna use them. Now, I need to shrink this down so it can fit, right? So it can be read. So I'm gonna go to disk management. And I'm going to find the disk somewhere here, right here. And I'm going to delete the partition by clicking on it, right click, and left click on delete volume. Click yes. And now it's all going to disappear, okay? Now I'm going to right click again, and sometimes you have to do this part twice. So I'm going to right click and left click on new simple volume. I came up the first time, great. Click next, and I'm just going to type 16,000. Okay, I really don't care because I'm never going to use that much space, but just type it anyway. Assign it to G, don't care about that either. And we're going to format using FAT32, okay? And we're going to leave it as new volume. Don't change that, please, okay? And perform a quick format and click next. Boom. In about 2 seconds, you're going to start seeing this thing pop up that says, well, more than 2 seconds, 10 seconds maybe. There. So we have our new volume G, all right? And if you go and you look at the properties, you're going to see that it is almost 16 gig, okay? So there you go. Now, that being said, it is time to close everything down and go back to our download and see. Okay, our download is done. Here it is right here. Let me close this so I can see any comments. Okay. Here's our download, but it's going to be in the downloads folder. So watch, show in folder. It's going to go to the downloads folder right here. And there it is. Right click on that, click cut. Go to your desktop, wherever you created your folder like I did here in QX7. Okay, and then just anywhere in this folder, paste. Okay. There's the file there. Now you're going to right click on it and left click on extract all. And you can click show extracted files when complete and just extract them. Pretty simple stuff. Shouldn't take very long. But you understand how it says you're copying 2,120 files. That's because you have way more files than you need because there's a bunch of languages in there you're not going to use. Okay, so we're going to clean that up, and we're going to take this from, I can't remember what size it is now, but we're going to take it down to about 16 megs. Okay. Oh, I think it's 130 gigs, and we're going to take it down to, no, I don't remember. Hold on, I can't even remember now. My brain's fried here. So let's see. It is compressed. It is 114 megs. Okay. I think uncompressed it's like 135, and we're going to end up taking it down to like 16. I think. I'm trying to remember, but I think that's pretty right. Okay. As soon as this is done and disappears, we'll be in good shape. Here's our progression. I need my coffee. Where the hell's my coffee? Here's my coffee. Oh, by the way, let's see. I got some cool stuff to do. Okay, so we got some new frames that we just cut. I got the new DJI smart controller that we're going to demo this weekend with the help of some good friends. And I think I just ordered like $15,000 worth of FrSky stuff. So it's going to be obscene in here. Okay, let me see this question that you just asked me. Sorry, I know it's back here somewhere. What is that? Are you going to set up with Flex firmware? Maybe, probably, only because you asked. But if I start seeing things because it's getting so late, we may continue that, okay? But I'll do my best to get to that. That shouldn't be too bad of a thing, but we'll find out, okay? So for now, yes, the answer is yes. Okay, so let's just get to this. So here's our contents, right? So we've extracted it all, and if you just look now, we can close this. We don't need any of this open, so let's just get rid of that, and let's get back to our folder. So in our desktop, in our folder here, we have now the extracted SD card contents, right? And if you click that, right click on sounds and left click on properties, it's 135 megs, okay? Now look, the entire contents of this entire folder is 140 megs, and that one folder alone has 135, okay? Or 140, okay, never mind, it's got 140 of it. So it's pretty much got 100% of everything, or 99.9%. So let's get rid of it, okay? And for anybody who's not using English, don't delete English, okay? And don't delete the rest. Don't delete your language, but I'm going to. So here goes. So I'm going to delete every language but English. All right. So we're going to delete right here. Okay, and then we are going to delete these two. All right, perfect. Now I'm going to go back now, and if you look at the contents, click properties. 16 megs. Okay, so from 140 down to 16, much easier, okay? So this is our SD card contents, okay? This is the thing that we need to keep track of that's very important. So what you're gonna do is, you're gonna highlight all of it, you're gonna right click on it, left click on copy, and then you're gonna go back to your main folder, go to your SD card folder here, right click, left click on paste. Okay, so basically copy, paste. Take it out of one or copy it from one and put it in the other one, okay? Now, that being done, we need to go ahead and we can just get rid of, I would always keep this because you never know if you get a corrupted file or something on your stuff and you won't have to download it again, but I can now delete this folder, the one that I extracted because I don't need it. I've already put everything in here. So this OpenTX firmware folder that I created, this is for organization purposes only, like you've seen me do in other videos. I can't have shit all over the place, so keep it all organized. So take this file folder here, OpenTX firmware, right click, left click on cut, go to your SD card, go to your firmware folder, right click, left click on paste. Okay, now we're in this folder and we have our first of 3 folders that we're going to put, okay? And because we're using FrSky product, we're going to make 2 FrSky folders, just like I've done before. The first folder that we're going to make, or the second folder that we're going to make here, a new folder, is going to be called FrSky, and then we're going to call it TXFW, okay? And that is basically all your FrSky transmitter or radio firmware. Hit enter, okay? The next one is going to be, sorry, I'm reading Bryce's thing. Okay, Yeah, Bryce, if you want to help them with the setting up a VM, that would probably give them a little bit of a boost there. All right, so we're going to make another folder, and this is going to be called FrSky RxFW. Boom, done. So now we have our receiver firmware, our transmitter firmware, and our OpenTX firmware. All organized, all perfect, okay? Now, with that done, all right, and with everything set up, our SD card now, we can start getting our SD card ready, all right? So in this case, we're going to close our File Explorer here, all right? And we are going to close here, and we're going to close all our file folders basically, right? All right. Now, we're still connected to the computer and to our radio, but we need to get that SD card out and load it on here, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to now eject the radio. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to your USB eject right here. It's the safely remove. Right click on it and left click on Tyrannus F. Okay, it's disconnected. Unplug the radio. Okay, and you can just click exit. Okay, now don't worry about anything else. Don't worry about anything that you see now. Okay, we're going to go ahead and power it off. All right. And now we've got to get our SD card out. So we're going to right click again on our eject for USB. And then we're going to eject a new volume, okay? Perfect. And here we go. So now take your SD card and let's put it in the radio. And I can't remember if this is going to go up or down, so I usually screw it up every time. Okay, so it goes with label down. Fine. I'm never going to get this right first time. Okay. So again, now we're going to go back, hold your sub trims in, press your power button, let go, get it here, and then plug in your USB cable. Okay, now we're going to wait for the memory stick to pop up. Give it a second because it's got to read it first. That's some good coffee. My computer might be a little slow because I've been using the heck out of it lately, but soon enough you will see it pop up here. There it goes. So we have F and we have D. And remember, new volume, okay? So just leave that name like it is. All right. Now, you can click the X on both of these to close them and get out of everything. Now look, here's where it gets interesting, right? And this is where you need to make sure you stay always up to date on this, okay? So we now have this icon here, which is to synchronize what's on our hard drive in the SD card folder and what's on our SD card, okay? So when you click this synchronize, I'll show you, here's what's gonna happen. First of all, it's gonna ask you where you're reading from. Make sure it's your folder. So you can, now mine is, but I'm just gonna go click the find the folder. I'm gonna go to my desktop, go to my Final QX7, go to my SD card, and I'm gonna click select folder. That's where I'm at, right? Now, because the card is new that I just put in, it does not know which folder to load this to or to compare to. So I'm going to tell it. I'm going to click the find folder here, and I'm going to go to my, where did it go? Why is it not? Oh, hold on a second. My G drive just disappeared. So let me see what I've got. Hold on. Let me see if I can get this back. Let me click here, run. Let me see if it's just not showing up, and it's not. So, 1 second, and let me see. I'm gonna click canceled here. All right, well, I'm gonna unplug my radio real quickly, and I'm gonna see if I can, oh no, it's D. I apologize. It says it's D here, so let me just see if I can see that. I don't see it, but I'm going to see if I can pull it up anyway. And I'm going to click select folder. Okay, so my D drive. So I'm just going to type it. For some reason on mine, sometimes the drive letter doesn't pop up. And I'm going to see if it'll synchronize. But make sure you select your folder that is listed under your under here as the letter. So the new volume is what you wanted. So that's going to be D. Okay. Now it's going to tell you can do both directions, but my D drive is empty anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And it's giving you the options here to copy only if new or whatever. Leave these as default. Don't worry about these right now. If you want to do a test run, you can, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to click start. All right, and here goes. It's going to start writing to the D drive, and it's going to tell you if it's how many it's created, updated, skipped, or how many errors there were. And we're going to watch the details, okay? So here we go. This can take a little bit of time, and then it'll like slow down, and then it'll just real quickly and be finished. Okay. Close that. Let's close that. And we're gonna wait for this to write. Once this part's done, we're ready to start moving along pretty quickly. Okay. All right. In the meantime, what cool stuff? Oh yeah, in the meantime, I can show you some cool things. So check this out. Okay, while that's writing, and I'm just gonna let that shrink, or I'm gonna let it do like this so you can watch that, and I'm gonna show you some cool stuff. So new board that we just got in. This is our 20 by 20 board that attaches to the DJI air unit. So that's gonna be something that we're gonna show you in a build in the next coming days. We got, what else did we get? We got a lot of cool stuff. Been trying to figure this out, and maybe this will do it. Damn near was ready to see if you could set mine up. I will, hey, Brad, what are you doing up, man? Go to sleep. I will set them up remotely. And guys, we do offer that service. The problem is this. There's one of me. That's not a problem, I guess. I guess most people would be happy there's only one of me. But the problem is there's one of me, and I do everything, which means I have to do the remotes, I have to do the ordering, I have to do the inventory. My wife is kicking ass on shipping. I'm not gonna lie to you. She is now in there 24/7. As a matter of fact, she's sleeping because she falls asleep pretty quickly, but she's up at 6 getting stuff packed, and I mean, she'll do it till 9 o'clock at night. I mean, it's been busy. So our brushless motors waterproof. Well, they can be. The ones that I did in our video was after we waterproof them. So if you want that, I can help you get there. You just need to get that stuff that we have on our website, Corrosion X, and then yes, they become waterproof. Anyway, so I try to do the remotes and do everything else. I'm running out of time, and which is why now I go to bed at 4:30 in the morning and get up at 6:30. So I'm down to 2 hours, and I need those 2 hours. So we're gonna figure something out. Okay. So look, we're at 100% right now. Let me just go back to this, and we'll deal with the rest later. So there we go. We're at 100%. So now we can just click the X. Okay. And here's what's cool. Now you can click your folder button, and oh look, my D drive shows up now. Okay. So there's my D drive, and you can see all the stuff that we had that was on the other one. Look at it. See, it transferred it over, right? So any changes now that you make to your radio or you make to the computer, when you plug them in, you just hit that button, the synchronize button, and you're going to keep everything up to date on both sides. Okay? So we have now the firmware for the radio loaded. We have not loaded the bootloader firmware though. If you look at my screen right now, you'll notice I'm running 2.3.2 as my bootloader, but we just loaded 2.3.7 on firmware. So let's go ahead and fix that before we go any further, okay? First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna safely eject again. So just go ahead and go to your computer and your USB and eject, okay, here, and click it again, eject again. Okay, now I'm gonna unplug the cable, all right? And we are gonna now just focus on the transmitter for a little bit, okay? Now there are two ways to go about doing this, and is there an important reason for having two. If for some reason when you restart your radio, it's blank and you cannot get it to load back up, there's a fix for that. And that is the second way to do this, which I'll show you real quickly. Okay, so let's do the first way first. Assuming everything's working, go down to exit, click your enter button. Now she talks, right? Because now she's got a SD card with the sound folder. Okay, switch warning, okay. Now, let me show you what we're talking about here. So if I hold down menu and I click page, and I click page, and I click page, page, and just keep going here. Okay, so you can see where I've got version 2.3.7 as my firmware, right? All right, but I have nothing else. We need to load the bootloader now. And remember, if you look at this real quickly, okay, bootloader's 2.3.2, right? So we're gonna click exit, and now we're gonna go into this. All right, hold your menu. All right, be quiet. Hold your menu button down. That's this button right here. Press page, and scroll down to firmware. And now you see our folders that we organized. Scroll down to OpenTX firmware. And then scroll down to OpenTX 2.3.7, which is the file that we downloaded and then renamed, right? I think, yeah. Hold it, and then click Flash Bootloader. Okay, done. 2 seconds, finished, okay? Exit, exit. And now, when I turn this off, and I go here, 2.3.7. So now we have the firmware update, and we have sorry, I was reading the comments here. We have the firmware update, and we have the bootloader update, firmware update for the bootloader too. So now we're 100% updated on both sides, right? All right. If your radio does not start
Welcome to OpenTX.
Okay, after you do
Switch
this. Now,
warning.
this happened recently on a build I was doing with the X9D Plus 2019. And a guy out of California, awesome guy, and I, man, Bruce is his name. We were doing this going back and forth, but I did his remotely, and here was the fix for it, okay? If you can't get it to start up, what you want to do, and I have to show you the computer screen too, so let's do it like this. What you want to do is, you want to just plug the cable, the USB cable, into your transmitter. That's it, okay? Just like that. I think that's how I did it. Okay, and then when it's plugged in, I think this is how I did it. I got to remember if it was this way or the other way, but I'm pretty sure it was this way. All right, with the power off, plug the USB cable in, and then find your icon in OpenTX right here. That is write firmware to radio. This is the exact same thing as doing the bootloader update. Okay, so with the thing off, right? So click that. You found your firmware, which is the one in our folder, and click. Hopefully it will find. Oh, you know what? I don't think it sees my radio yet. Hold on a second. Let's see. Let me see. What did I do? I think I can't. I don't remember if I had to turn it on. I don't think I did. But let me just see. Why am I not? I got to try to remember this one real quick. Give me a second. Oh, there it is. Sorry, I didn't click the right file. I apologize. So once you click the file, and that's my mistake. So let me start again here. I thought it was already selected, but it wasn't. So you will keep your radio off, plug the USB in, click write to firmware, and then click load to find your firmware. Here for us, it's on our SD. It's in a folder that we created on our desktop. SD card firmware, OpenTX firmware. Double click that, and then you will get the write to TX. Okay. Leave everything else like it is, and click write to TX. Now you see it progressing here, right? So if your bootloader gets corrupted or something goes wrong with it, or your EEPROM goes wrong, this is you're going to have a hard time, and it won't turn on. This will fix that. This is the step that you do if you screw yourself up doing the other step properly. Okay. So please, if you do find that it doesn't restart, follow this step right here and you'll be fine. All right, for the most part. Okay, so let's let that run real quick. Almost done. Coffee break. Okay, and just to address the question on the are the brushless motors waterproof? So let me make this clear. The motor itself, you can get them wet, you can dry them, you can fly them. Okay, what the problem that comes into play is when you fly them underwater or when you run the motors underwater. With the Corrosion X, you can run them underwater. So let's just answer it that way. So rather than having to wait for them to dry, you can fly them and you're good. Okay, so if you do, what I did was drop it in a bucket, let the whole quad run underwater. I've got a video on our YouTube channel about that. It was awesome. Camera worked, everything worked. It was to test the new Corrosion X. It was perfect. And we never stopped running the motors the whole time. Okay, the only thing you do have to be careful of is if you do run it underwater for whatever reason, that watch your amp build up because of the resistance from the props in the water. Okay, all right, now back to work. Here we go. All right, now that we're done, we're going to click close, and we're going to go ahead and well, I guess we've just done our firmware. Okay, so with that done, now we're going to address setting up. Now let's see. You guys want to go with long range, I guess, first, because that seems to be everybody's thing. So I have to prepare the long range setup. Let me see how I want to do that. So no. First thing we're going to do is we're going to set up switches and models. Sorry, it doesn't matter what we're doing just yet. We still need to do switches and models. Okay. So here goes. For this one, you can do one of two things. You can set up your switches if you know the letters, the corresponding letters to your switches. I keep looking like you guys can see me. Okay, and you can't. So let's try this. If you know the letters to your switches, right? SAS, BS, CSD, whatever, then you can set it up using OpenTX. And if you don't know them, they're pretty simple, but I forget them every time. But I think it is SAS, BS, CSD. Okay, so here's what we do. So let's go to OpenTX, and boom, there we go. All right, and I'm going to tell it that I want to read the models from the radio. Oh, I'm sorry, I have to go back into my mode here. So let's do that. Plug in our cable. Boom. Okay. Now we're going to read the models from the radio, and I really don't want these models because I don't know what they are. They're not mine, so we're just going to get rid of them. All right. But I will tell you this. Take the time to set up your first model properly. I mean, do everything perfect. Because from that point on, don't set up anymore. Just copy and paste and copy and paste. but set the first one up right, okay? And then you're just gonna save yourself a ton of problems. All right, so let me move this out of the way. All right, it's loaded my SD cards. We can close out. Those aren't supposed to be out there anymore. All right, so these are the 3 models that are on here. Thank you, but we're gonna delete them all. So let's go ahead and I think that would be delete. And we're gonna highlight, delete, and then we're gonna highlight and delete, okay? Yes. Now, let's go ahead and set up our first model. And I don't care what it says the order of the sticks are or anything else. Don't worry about it, okay? Let's just do it. So we're gonna click new model. And we're gonna click multi-rotor, and we're gonna call this, let's see, let's just call this one main. It'll be our main model, okay? Oh my God, main, that way. All right, we're gonna leave it like that, click next, okay? And so we have the channel order, let me see if most of you, yeah, we'll leave it like this for now, okay? And we're gonna click next. By the way, this is TAER, for anybody's wondering. This is TAER, okay? So keep that in mind for later. Okay, I don't want any options. Just click next, and now you can see it, TAER, okay? And click OK, I understand. Any X. What does it mean, any X? I missed it. Did I miss something here? No? Sorry, I know with the delay, by the time I ask the question, you hear it, I've probably moved, so apologize. Just let me know what that meant. All right, and click next, and click, oh, any X receiver. Is that what that means? I'm guessing. I haven't seen the answer yet, but I'm assuming that may be what it means. Okay, so let's click finish. There's our model. It's 327 bytes. It's nothing, okay, or bits or bytes. I don't know if it's bytes or bits yet, but I guess it's bytes. Okay, so now, once you've got this, now we can double click it and get going, right? So let's go ahead and double click it. All right, now here's everything that we can do without having to do it from the controller itself, but I cannot see if you guys say anything, so let me go ahead and shrink this down. Okay. Name the model. Oh, any X. Okay, I got you. Okay, so here's what we've got. We've double clicked it, and at this point, I don't care about this, okay? I'm not worried about setup, so well, actually, hold on, that's not true. Let me scroll down here. Internal radio system. So you're going to have your defaults for long range, and you're going to, I shouldn't have said I don't care about this part then, because you are going to have a default for R9M or module based, and you're going to have a default for internal based. And so I guess, to be fair, I have 3 base models on mine, which is going to be D16, D8. Actually, I have 4. I have the Access, and then I have R9. So FCC. So I guess let me do this real quickly. Let me click the X here because I do want to correct something, because we're live, I can't just rewind and change it. Okay, so I'm going to rename this model, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to go here and I'm going to go main, and I'm going to put D16. Okay, the next one we'll do R9 or whatever. Okay, so just name it D16 because when you scroll down here, you can set this part. So internal protocol is going to be D16. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to start here, channel 1, channel 16, receiver number 1. That's fine. All right, you can set this default and then copy it. Okay. Not worried about the rest of this. Let's just get to flight modes. Flight modes should be there's nothing to really adjust at this point. Everything's trimmed to 0. Everything looks fine. We're going to go to inputs. Here's where you need to spend the time doing this, okay? So input number 5, all right? We are going to go ahead, and you figure out how you want to do it, but I'm going to double click here, and I'm going to call the input name ARM, okay? So this is going to be my arming switch. And I'm just going to type ARM, and I'm going to tell it that my source is going to be, I better make sure this is SA. If anybody wants, let me just make sure, because I will screw this part up. And none of my radios have the damn letters on them. So, oh yeah, you know what it does? Right here. Okay, so on the X9D 2019, thank you FrSky for giving me one that has them. You can see it right here. Okay, so you've got SA, SB, SC, and SD. It's going to be SA, B, C, and D. Okay? God, I can't believe I'll never remember that. My hard drive is full. Okay, so we are going to use switch SA. That's this left switch, 3-way switch here. So select SA, okay? And just click OK for right now. Nothing else to worry about, just click OK. Okay, okay. Then we're going to go to input 6. Input 6 is going to be called mode, okay? And you can only use 3 letters for this part at the input name, but the line name you can type the whole thing. So mode. okay? And again, this is gonna be our three-way switch on this side. I'm gonna explain to you why in just a second. And for this one, we're gonna call it SD. So let's find that, boom, right there, and just click OK. All right, now, real quickly before we continue, let me explain to you why we have a, why I use the three-way switches, okay? And it may make sense to you, it may not, but just follow us anyway, because I promise you, I'm the one who's screwed up enough that these lessons have been learned by me, okay, and been painful. So here's the deal. A three-way switch, right, the way I look at it is like this. If I have a three-way switch, I'm gonna want, for my arming, for example, I just don't want arm and disarm. I want arm and I want arm again. And the reason I do is because I'm gonna pull that switch all the way to me. So it's gonna move 2 more times, right? That way, if I accidentally bump the switch, hit it, or do anything while I'm flying, accidentally push it when I didn't intend to or whatever, I'm only gonna push it to middle position. I haven't cut my motors yet. If I have it on a two-way switch and I hit it by accident, I automatically disarm it. This gives me one more chance to not screw it up, okay? That's why I use a three-way switch, all right? So you'll find that whenever there's a chance to flip a switch and screw up the entire quad by having it drop out of sky, I will always go to a three-way switch, all right? That's just me, because I have done it before and it sucks. All right, back to business, okay? So here we go. So that's SD, so that's over here. Now, we're gonna set up our fail-safe, all right? And we're gonna also use that for our buzzer, okay? So we're gonna go to input 7, all right? And here we're gonna call it, remember you can only do 3 letters, so FAI, and then here we're just gonna type fail, okay? And we're gonna go to source and ABC, so we're gonna make this, you can pick any of your three-way switches. I'm gonna use this one here, so I'm gonna go to SC, and I'm gonna click OK. Now, so as you can see right here, here's everything that we need, and you can keep going, guys. You can add, oh my God, you can add a ton of stuff. Whatever you want, you can get your dials to work, do whatever you want, but these are the main ones for us to be able to get going, okay? Now, the rest of these switches we can use for special functions, like for example, I set this switch up on mine so that when I flip it, if it's an emergency, right? Or not emergency, but if I need to drop the quad quickly, but I don't want to cut the motors, I flip this. I have it programmed that when I flip that, I cut everything down to 10% power, right? But the minute I turn it off, I don't have to touch my throttle. It automatically hits it right back where the throttle is, okay? Bardwell says to create Lewis scripts to flick one and I'm not sure what you mean by I'm only because it's written. I don't understand what's written, but okay. So depending on what you mean, you can set logical functions so that when you flip a switch, if something's happening, everything else falls in line, right? But let me make it clear. The way I'm doing this is the most fault-tolerant way to avoid a mistake, okay? Meaning you have to be aware of what you're doing. It's not like if I flip something, everything else is gonna fall in line. I do it the way to where if I want my motors to start, I'm gonna flip my arm. If I wanna go into, obviously into a horizon mode or acrobat mode with air or acrobat without air, my switches are gonna do that for me. Failsafe's gonna do the same thing. Now, you can set a logical function, flip and hold the other. That's for a second stage arming. I believe that's what it's for, to avoid accidental arming and accidental disarming. That's great. There's a million ways to do it. I'm telling you that this is the way I do it, and I don't really care what Bardwell says. I'm telling you that this is the way to do it, and you don't have to try to act like it's, like it's rocket science. This is very simple stuff. So make your switch, arm and disarm. It's that simple. Here we go. So we have our switches now set, okay? And now we're gonna go to our mixes, all right? Now, you do not have to do your switches in your mixes in order to have them work. The only thing that's gonna happen here is if I have my mixes, then in my outputs, I'm gonna see a value when I adjust them, and that's gonna be for calibration, right? So I always put them out of habit, but you don't have to. I'm going to. So follow me if you want on this one, just because this is how I've done it since day one, and I like to be consistent. So I'm gonna go here, and I'm gonna tell it, okay, this first one, good morning. I'm gonna go here, and remember, I5 is ARM, so I'm gonna type ARM. And when it asks me for my source, I'm not doing a Lewis script here. I'm gonna go to my source of I5, ARM, and I'm gonna click OK, all right? Let me get it to right there, and then I'm gonna go to I6, and again, this one was called mode. And so I'm gonna go to my source, and I'm gonna type mode. And if you get used to doing this, then when you do wanna assign Lewis scripts, or you wanna do something different, you're very familiar with how to do it. It takes 2 seconds to do this. So just do it and take the extra effort, in my opinion, okay? Click OK, And then for i7, i7 was fail. So we're going to go ahead and go to fail here. There we go, and click OK. Okay, so now we've got this. Now our outputs, we really can't do anything with that right now. We're going to do that on the radio like when we calibrate. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do that next. Curves we're going to leave alone for right now. That's going to be in a more advanced. I have adjusted my curves. What's that? Firewall likes his way. It's like, yeah, that's exactly the way to. That's, you know what? I would probably say that that's the best way to put it. I like the way I do it, but my way is always going to be more of an old school. It's going to be more of an old school way, and I'm going to tell you flat out why. Before acro with air, when you try to do something, you would actually have to control your throttle a little bit more. Before we had auto leveling, before there was when we had naze boards, which is what I learned on back then, right? And that, I mean, that's not that long ago. Things didn't do so much for us. We had to do more of it, right? So as things become more done for you, whether it's the tuning, whether it's the the scripts that are written, there's that fundamental crap that I had to learn that I don't let go of. That's it. So just understand that, and it's fine. But I can't. That's my answer. Hey, Bryce, sleep. Good luck, man. And remember, send prayers for your grandmother, okay, brother? All right, so let's just keep looking. Logical switches we're not doing right now. Special functions we're not doing right now. And telemetry we're not going to do right now. None of these matter right now. We can do these from the radio afterwards. But we do have our setup done for our first model. Finished, okay? So let's go ahead now, and we can close this. There's our model right here. And I'm going to go ahead now and right-click on this, and I'm going to click to copy it, and I'm going to paste it here, okay? Everything we've done I want to keep, right? Except I want to, I've got too many Lewis scripts. If I update, no, you won't. You don't have to wipe your Lewis scripts. When you update, you're not deleting your scripts folder or anything else for that matter. So you should be just fine. I wouldn't worry about that. If you lose them, it's because you deleted the folder. So just make a backup and put it back when you're done. But you'd be fine. So we're going to take this now. Remember, we did D16 for Model 1. So for Model 2, we're going to do R9. So let's double click that, and we're just going to go down and make one change. We're going to change the name, right? So R9. We'll just do R9M. And then we're going to come down here, and we're going to tell it internal is off, and external, I don't know if I can select it yet. Can I? Let me see. Yeah, right here. Okay. And we're going to start the same way, and we'll leave this, and we'll make this receiver. I think we'll leave it like that. Nope, we'll be good. I think everything else is going to be just fine. I'm not going to worry about the rest of this. I don't think I have to select 915 right now, so I'm going to leave it, and I'm going to close the rest of it because everything else looks just fine. So we can close this now, and now we're going to save. So the first thing I want to do here is I want to go ahead, and I think this is it, save. I'm going to click my save icon here, and I'm going to drop my models into my folder that we created. So on desktop, QX7, SD card, here's models, and I'm just going to type today's, so I'm going to put main-050720, okay? All right. Now I'm going to tell it that I want to write these models to my radio, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And you can check this if you want, but I've already backed up. So you can check firmware if you want. No harm, no foul. Click write to TX. And it should be done here in just a second. Okay, so now that should be done. So when I close this, if I tell it to read from the radio, I should see those two models, and there they are. So look, now we're set. We've done our models. We've got them set up for the right protocol. So now, and we've got our switches set up, right? So the next thing we need to do now is figure out what equipment we're going to be using. So this is where we're going to go to our downloads. So let's go to FrSky's page. And I know there's going to be an issue here. I'm concerned there's going to be an issue here. So we're going to go to FrSky-RC.com. Hopefully it's not going to take forever. And we are going to go and try to look up our downloads. Now, I know they've taken stuff off of here, and I've had a talk with them last week about it. And it's supposed to be coming back, but right now, if I cannot find the download on here, I'll have to pull it from my folders, from my files, and I'll share them with you guys as well, obviously. So let's go ahead. We're going to look for modules, and we're going to go to the R9M. Is it listed under? No way. Is it now discontinued item? Didn't even realize that. Well, that sucks. Okay, so let's go to discontinued products. I'll be surprised, man. That was quick. All right, let's just keep going. R9, oh, it's sad. Look at that. Okay, R9M. Click it. It's amazing the XJT has been out forever and it's not discontinued because they need it now. But the R9M gets kicked to the curb. Wonderful. Okay, so I don't care about this. What I want to do is go to downloads. See what they've left us here. Let's go to downloads page. Yeah, we ship to Australia. As a matter of fact, Australia is actually one of the easier countries to ship to because they have an agreement with the United States on the tariffs. So it's a real piece of cake to get there. So if you need anything, you let me know. All right, so let's look at firmware. And they have taken everything else off. And this was something that I spoke to them about. Okay, so I'm going to ask you guys, because some of you guys who have done the Flex updates, where... I have the old Flex update files. Where are you guys getting them from when you try to do a Flex update? Because I don't believe it's embedded in the I don't think it's in the the February 13th update, which is actually, what is that, January 17th was the version make. So, and that's what I was talking about for this one in specific, was that there's no Flex file on here like there used to be. So, here's what I'm going to do. There is a link on some of the other pages and it's right about here for the files that are not compatible. I'm going to download this one for right now just so we can get going with this update. But I'm going to come back and visit this with the for the Flex information. So let me go ahead and download this. So just download, click the download, and we're going to go ahead and click Show in Folder. And I'm going to now cut this in my Downloads folder. I'm going to go to my desktop, go to my QX7, go to my SD card, go to my firmware, and go to my FrSky TX firmware. And I'm going to make a new folder called R9M. Okay, I'm going to double click it and I'm going to paste this in there. Okay, now I'm going to extract it. Just click next or extract or whatever. All right, and you can now open that folder, and it's always going to have another folder underneath it. I don't know why it's like that. Oh, here's the Flex. They give it to you here. Okay, so we have our Flex here. So the question's answered then. They did include it in this. I hear helicopter, sorry. They did include it here, so that's good. All right, so we're going to use this one then. So what I want you to do is, what I don't like that FrSky does is they give you dual layer folders. So I'm going to delete my zip file first of all. You can save yours somewhere though. Save it if you want so that you have it in the future in case they ever remove it. Now I've got this here and I don't like having two layers of it. So I'm going to go to the second layer and cut that out. And I'm just going to paste it. I guess I can paste it here. Let me just paste it here. So you're going to end up with what looks like, there it is. So you get rid of that second, having to click twice. I hope that makes sense. It's just something they do that it's not necessary to have to do that. All right, so that's the R9M, right? Now, we also need to get the R9mm, which I think is what we're going to be using for this. I don't know if that's what these are, but they're going to use the same firmware, R9mm and the R9mm. So let me just check real quick. Let's make sure. This is the R9mm, so that's what we're going to use. Okay. So what we're going to do now is let's go back to the FrSky page, and we're going to go back to the, I think if you just change this, I'm pretty sure if you just change this and put R9mm, I think it will actually take you there, but I could be completely wrong. Oh, it does 2 layers. Sorry, I'm not using Linux, so but for me, I can't stand 2 layers. Did this work? Is this the R9mm? FC? No, that's not what I want. So let's just go back. I was hoping that was going to get me right where I wanted to be, but it's not. So now we're going to go to our receivers. Let's see right here. Oh, they have a downloads page. Here we go. I'll just click downloads page. Try to skip this if we can. Let's go to receivers under the downloads page, and let's look for the R9mm. R9M, right here. Okay. There we go. And again, now you can update it, but we're not going to access, so let's see what they have here. This hopefully should then have the same thing. So we're going to go ahead and download this. Now this one, release date was about a week after, or 2 weeks after the other one for version-wise. So we're going to download this as well. We're going to basically do the same thing, okay? So hang tight. Hey, Finley. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and show it in the folder. And we're going to cut it. Right-click and cut. Go to your desktop. Go to your Final QX7. And go to your SD card. Go to your firmware. And go to your FrSky RX firmware folder and click Paste. Hey, you're welcome, man. Thank you very much. But if you need me to do anything else, let me know, okay? I love doing this, so anything I can do to help. No sense in having all this product here if I can't do something to help everybody else with it, right? All right, so let's get this out. Now, I know you said if in Linux you like to have that dual layer folder. I don't, so I'm going to go ahead and remove it again, but do whatever is easier for you. So under RX, I'm going to get rid of the zip folder, and I'm going to go to here, and again, it's dual layer, so let me go up one, and I'm going to cut this, and I'm going to go up one, and I'm going to paste it here. That's going to get rid of the dual layer. And there we go. Okay, so we have our Flex firmware, and we have our standard FCC firmware, and we have our R9M. And you see it says R9mm, but the R9mm and R9mm use the same firmware. Okay, so with that done, now we have the firmware to update, and we can do both D16 and R9M. So let's hope this works without any problems. Okay, if we have problems, we're going to troubleshoot and figure it out. So you wanted to do Flex. I guess we'll do that. But I wanted to do the FCC first. So let me, I don't know. We'll see. Probably stick to Flex though. It's probably going to be best anyway. I've been meaning to make the transition over, so I might as well. I'm just a little apprehensive. Okay, now look, we've put all our stuff in that SD card folder on the computer, right? Now we need to synchronize. So remember, you're going to come on over here, and you're going to, where's my little, there it is. Sorry. Okay, so you're going to click here, and we're going to synchronize the card, remember? And now all those firmwares that we just did are going to be transferring over. So let's just click Start. When I do stuff like this, I like to see if there's anything cool I could show. Oh crap, I left my glue gun on for 3 days. My bad. Oops. Oops, oops. Do I have anything cool? Nope, nothing cool yet. Come on. Gotta have something cool. Nope. It's boring today. I got frames. I got so much carbon fiber to cut. Oof. And I have 4 splinters. All right, we're getting there, guys. Hang in there with me. We're gonna go make this work. Okay. We're gonna make it work, or else we're gonna have a hell of a time trying. Okay. Are we done? Almost. Okay. Try to see if I have anything cool to show you else. Okay, so here we go. So now that we've done our synchronization here, we're done, okay? So what we're gonna do now is we can actually close out of OpenTX. We're finished. So you can click Exit. You can come down to your USB, and you can start ejecting these one by one. Okay, there you go. Now go ahead and remove the cable. Okay, and then click Exit.
Welcome to OpenTX.
Awesome. Okay, so now we are done on the computer. Change to the lowest one. Theoretically, yes. Okay, theoretically, yes. But I cannot tell you. I cannot tell you any more than that because I don't know any more than that to know what the difference is beyond that. So like I don't know how much more. Theoretically, the lower the frequency, the farther the distance. But at the same time, I couldn't tell you. It's not even like a. It's not even like a. What's the word? It's like a. What's those things? A Richter scale? What are those things that detect earthquakes, right? And I don't remember what the hell they're called. But 1 and 2 is not just double; it's like 10 times more. The same thing works in frequencies too. So it's like I'm not really sure what the difference would be, how much you'd net gain on it, or even if how successful it is. I have never done that. All right, so I'm gonna get back to this right now, and then I'll try to answer that question later. It'll be something I'll look at and address, but I don't want to just take a stab at it All right, so what I'm going to do is, if I can get this damn panel off. All right, so the first thing we're going to do, sorry, there we go. First thing we're going to do is going to go ahead and get our module, and I'm telling my buddy now, he put this in here, it's better work, homie. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get our module and pop it in. All right, and I can put the antenna on, I don't have to, but I'll just put it on for now. And we're going to start our update process with the antenna, okay? I mean with the R9 module, so here it goes. Okay, so first thing we want to do is go to our models. Oops, go to our models here, and you see where our D16 and our R9M are, right? That's what we created. So we're going to switch to R9M, okay? And I do need to find something here real quick, so bear with me 1 second, please. I want to verify something on the R9M module real quick. Since this is not mine, I want to make sure that I have it set. So FR, give me 1 sec here, just to make sure I've got this set right. And of course, it's taking forever to get into their site now. There we go. Okay, modules. I need to check. I want to make sure what date this model was, this particular R9M was done. So let me go to discontinued products. We had a customer send us an R9M. As a matter of fact, it's on my desk, I think. And it looks like it's bootleg. And so before I even get to, and not that this one is, I know this one isn't, but before I get into it, I want to just check and see a date on this one. So let me click this. And while I'm doing that, I will go ahead and get ready to switch over. So go to your R9M module, just click it and click select module, or your model, I mean, and just scroll down to your model. So I was on 1, right? And so to go to 2, I'm just going to scroll down and hit the enter button twice. There I am. And what I want to do is, let me see. I'm going to get to this download page to verify. All right, once we're on this page, we're going to go ahead and hit our menu button. And let me get the manual here, non-EU. So let's download this manual real quick. I want to look at this. So go ahead and hit your menu button, or sorry, just hit page. And scroll backwards, scroll to your left so that we go to the, we get to the internal, external options faster. And then let me shrink this down real quick and see if I can get this manual. Okay, so I need to look at the manual real quick on the R9M. Let's see if they give me a date option. Where am I at? 1, 2. 2. And where is this? Well, it's not giving me a date. I was hoping it would, but it's not going to. So I guess I will not mess with it right now. It's a shame. So on my switches, though, I fire that real quick, and I'm going to turn this off to do it. So on the back, right? So on the back here, you've got your switches, right? So if you have switch 1 on and switch 2 off, which is exactly, this is the opposite. Switch, which I don't have the answer to yet, but on flex, I think self-adaptive is actually the better way to go, but I'm going to find out first because you also don't want it to screw up on you. Now, they are having a new radio that has both. Which is going to be really nice. So you're going to be able to jump between 2 frequencies if one fails. All right, so I'm going to leave it on off for now because I want to test and see if I can get it to work. So here goes. Let's go ahead now and turn this on. Sorry for wasting time, guys. I just wanted to verify this because there is a change. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to go to our menu here and we are going to do our update first. So let's hold down our menu button, click page, go down to firmware, go down to FrSky TX firmware, go down to our R9M, go down to our folder that we created in there, and we're going to find our Flex folder, and we're going to flash it with Flex. Okay, so we're going to flash the external module. Make sure to do that, right? Click it, and let's get going. You can see on the back, you should have the light going, sorry, like that right there. Okay, and that means it's writing. If you look on the front, it also means it's writing by doing that. So I'm wondering if you have to have that. That's something that I'll have to check. All right. I'm just reading something while this. I'm gonna see if there's put out any new stuff. Maybe they sent it to dealers as far as updates. FCC and select bind. Yeah, okay, so no, they didn't do anything like that. Not yet. And they don't have any updates on it, so there's no new information on this. So let's just keep writing this and we'll get it ready. Now, while that's writing, I've got to get these receivers ready. So we're going to need our update cable, which I'll grab. Okay, and let me grab a simple one here. If I can find one. So everybody takes my stuff. Everything disappears around here. Funny part is nobody works here, so it's just me. It's me misplacing it, but I just don't want to admit that. Okay, so that's not gonna work. Damn it. All right, I'll just go get a cable. Okay. So I'm gonna grab the cable here. There's my update cable. All right. We'll go this route. Hopefully these are working. Just need to get the nasty glue off of this, so bear with me a second. Got some glue or some non-conformal all over it. 1, 2, and 3. Let's see. Okay, that'll work. Holy crap. It's terrible. Sorry guys, I just gotta strip these wires real quick, so bear with me a second. I thought these would strip easier, but they're not. God darn. Let's cut them and just try it. All right, 2, and then we'll go for the third one here. Okay, so there's our 3 wires. All right, positive ground, an S port. This is nasty. Ugh. Okay. All right. Okay, and let's see, I want to try and avoid having to solder these if at all possible. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my update cable, plug it in. Remember, ground goes to the outside. So on this pattern, it's ground positive, and I'm gonna get these alligator clips. This way I could probably avoid having to solder. So let me grab those real quick, give me 1 second. So there we go. All right, hopefully this will make it a little easier so I don't have to solder these wires because then I'm just gonna have to desolder them. So I'm gonna do is just try to attach these. So I'm gonna take yellow to S port. Okay. The only problem is I'd probably be better off starting with a new receiver since I don't know the status of these, but let's just hope for the best. Can you show recover wiring? Say that again? Oh, receiver wiring. Yes, I will. I will show that to you. I will zoom in on the camera here in just a second. In just a second, okay? So let me show you. Right now, let me just make sure I get this connected. I can even get a reading on this before I put too much time into this and it doesn't function properly, okay? So let's get these ready. Assuming the wiring is all right, yeah, okay. So let me hit enter here. And we're gonna go to our, and I will show you this, so give me a second. I will take that up there for you so you can see it. Get these wires out of the way so they're not touching any metal. Okay, so I'm gonna go hit my menu button. Again, I'm gonna hit page. Where am I at? I'm gonna hold my menu button, sorry. I'm gonna hit page, go to my firmware, go to my FrSky or FrSky RX firmware, go to the R9mm, go to the Flex, and I'm gonna do, okay, so now I need to check and let me see. I wanna get a version on this at least, at the very least, to make sure when this receiver was made, so bear with me a second. Okay, I'm not gonna use the F port right now. I wanna just get this going, so hold on real quickly. And I'm going to use flex for right now without F port. We'll do an F port on the next one. So I'm going to go ahead, when I'm on this screen here, go ahead, hit enter, hold it down, sorry. And then you're going to flash S port. Okay, now let me make sure and see if okay, so we can see it writing here, so we're in good shape. So on your wiring, you want a close up, so let me see if I can get you a close up, okay? Let's see, how am I going to do this? Because he has more receivers here. All right, let's take this one for example, okay? So the way this is, what is this? Yeah, this is, I'm going to have to ask him what he was doing here. Now I'm going to put that one aside because that's not the example I want to use. Let me find one that's a good example here. We'll go with this one right here, okay? So on the receiver, now this is, understand that this thing is caked with dirt, okay, or with non-conformal or something. So let me see if I can just zoom in here. Okay, so here is your, here's your receiver, right? And I'm going to try to keep this on camera, so bear with me. If I get off camera, I don't mean to. All right, so with the receiver aimed, with the button on top. So this is your bind button, which is, I think this bind button's actually broken off. Where the heck is it? Now I know why it gave me these, because there's no bind buttons. Yeah, they're missing right here, but well, just put it with your antenna facing up. Let's just go with that. With your antenna facing up, right? On R9M, you have your inverted port, or S port, and then you have your, you have your S port. Sorry, I'm missing here because I'm looking at this one and this one. They're wired two different ways. So your S port's going to be, it's covered right here. You can't see it. So you've got your ground. Your ground is in the middle. You've got your 5 volts right here. And then you've got your options here. So you've got your S port sitting right here. Okay? And then, I can't get it here, but you have it. And then you have your S bus and your inverted. So you got your standard up here and you've got your inverted down. So let me show you what this would look like. And I'm trying to get this for you to show you a different way to explain it, because with the R9mm, and what I'm getting at is with the R9mm, you can actually use redundant, you can use a secondary, like a backup receiver. With the R9mm, you cannot. So there is a benefit to the Mini, and that's why I want to make sure I explain this properly. So to show you this, I'm going to show you the diagram the way I have it, because a lot of people ask me, why would you get the Mini then? And I'm like, well, the Mini will give you redundant receivers. The R9mm cannot. So let me show you if I can do this the right way. I'll show you here. So give me 1 second, and I'll put it on the screen for you, because it'll make more sense when you see it this way. Where the hell am I? I just have to pull it up on my PC here. Okay. It's coming. One second. It's taking a little longer than I expected. All right. So I'm going to show you the screen here. Holy crap, I didn't know I was zoomed in so much. So let me show you what we got here, okay? So on the manual, and hopefully this manual will open quicker. And it really won't make a difference if you're not going to be using redundant receivers. But I have had very good success with the R9 Mini, so I haven't had that issue where I had to change over. But I'm going to show you here in just a second why. It just takes forever with their website. And I have these stored locally, but I said I wasn't going to use any local files today because I was going to do it as if I had never done it before. So we're going to try to do it this way, and then once you get a hang of it, all this information is on my website. So you don't have to go to FrSky's website, but right now we'll just wait because it's only 2:40 in the morning. I have all the time in the world. Okay, so you have your, let me zoom in here. So you have your inverted S port right here on the bottom, and this is for the R9mm, right? So on the R9mm, now what I do want to do is I want to show you the difference. So I have to do this to make it fair. Let me do FR. Okay, let's do that. And while that's going, we'll let that load real quick. So we have our S bus out right here. So under normal circumstances, you'd be using your S bus out like normal, right? And then you have your inverted S port down here. So for people that want telemetry, right, and they don't have the board that can support it, and they don't have an open UART, and they're not going to use soft serial, which is a whole other conversation. We have videos on that as well. This would be ideal, okay? But a lot of people nowadays aren't even using the telemetry anymore. You know, with the goggles having everything on screen and the RSSI coming through now, it really didn't have that much of a purpose for many, but it still does work well. Okay, and I use telemetry all the time. Again, it's an old school thing. I have my radio tell me when things are not good because I tend to get lost in my goggles and forget what I'm doing. All right, so let's see if I can get here real quick and show you the difference. So let me go to receivers. Let me go to downloads. And then I'm going to go to receivers and show you the difference between the two and why why it's not necessarily better to have the R9mm. So bear with me a second. Let me see, R9mm right here. Oh no, shit, we already did the R9mm. I need the R9mm. Sorry, 1 second. And I'm going to try to be a little thorough here because and this is a question I get, so hang tight a second. All right, where the hell was I? Receivers, right here. Let me load more and get to the R9mm real quick. Okay, right. All right, so we'll compare the two so you can understand which one you want and why it would make a difference. If I can get their website to run any faster than Frozen Molasses, we'll be doing just fine. Okay, so on the manual, we're going to open both manuals and you're going to see. So with the R9mm, like I was telling you, and I'm trying to say this in an open and we're on time here. With the R9mm, thank you. Okay, so with the R9mm, this is what you have. You have the ability to do S-Bus in. So you have the ability with the R9mm to have redundant receivers, right? With the R9mm, you don't. With the R9mm, you get the inverted S port instead. So depending on your use, you know, in some cases, the R9mm is going to be a little bit better. If it fails, it can divert. And now you won't get telemetry, you won't get anything else on it, right? But you will get the redundancy. So decide which one you want, because you will basically go from the S-Bus out to the S-Bus in. Now you have two receivers and you can configure them to be backup, okay? It's fault tolerance. Whereas with the R9mm, your S-Bus out would be your standard S-Bus. If you're using F-port, then the F-port will be your S-port and your F-port for data and S-Bus or F-port control, and you'll need one wire. I still use two because I didn't want to jump over to F-port. I don't want to change everything at one time. So let that just be the differences between the two. So everybody who thought the R9mm, when the R9mm came out, it was going to be the savior, the R9 sucked because the R9mm had inverted. Yeah, you could have used the R9 Mini with modifications to the board, and it would have still worked. But you would have been able to use redundancy. So you pick whichever one is best for you. In this case, we're using the R9mm. So we've got the inverted S port, which at this point isn't going to make a difference for me. All right, so we've done our flash update here. So let's get back to it now. We are set for flex, but not flex with F port, right? So now the test is, can we bind? Now, this is where everybody's had their problem, and God will probably make this my problem too today. So here goes. I'm going to use the Toolkit RC like I've used before, okay? And there are some switches in here. I want to make sure that I've selected it properly. So let me go ahead and get power to this real quickly. And I'm going to set these so that we can see. Let me zoom out, and so that way you guys can see. All right, so there we go. All right, and here we go. Radio, Toolkit RC, okay, and we're going to hope that I don't short this out somehow. That's not the right one. This is it. I need to change the way this is soldered though, because this is soldered to run flex, and I'm hoping that I can switch that. Shouldn't be a problem, but let's see. Because this is set to run on F port, and I don't want to do that. So give me a second to change that real quickly. I'm going to move that up to the S-Bus, because this will read the S-Bus, and I don't believe... Ooh, God, that's hot. Okay. Let me clean this real quickly, so I've got a clean solder iron. Okay. You know, it's funny. It's just like, it's hot, right? And I mean, it's hot, and it should melt pretty quickly. But yeah, it is. Okay. Okay. All right, so let me change this real quick. guess I'll use these tweezers for now. Bear with me a second. I wasn't planning on doing this part, but let me just knock it out real quick. Okay. I think that should be okay. All right. So now what we want to do is let's make sure I've even got power to this. We get these out of the way. And we're going to plug this in. And we're going to hopefully not short anything out. So let's just see what we got. Okay. And tell me he didn't give me a bind button on this one either. Well, after all that, I may just throw in the towel on this and have to get a new one, just because I don't have a bind button. I don't want to sit here all day trying to make this connection work, but let's just see if I can. And I'll thank him later for this wonderful gift. Ah, darn it, it was close. All right, I'm about 2 seconds away from getting a regular one. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get this to work. Sorry guys, I didn't realize that when I pulled these out that they had no bind buttons, so it's kind of caught me by surprise here. Now I may just fix that real quick. I may just solder a wire on there, let me see. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm not gonna wait all night for this. I'm too tired, so let me grab one. Where am I at? R9. Alright, fine. I'll go with the R9mm. I've got one open, so might as well. And I will solder a bind button. I will solder that back, but right now I don't feel like messing with it. So let's just get going. There it is. All right, we're gonna go this route because I cannot sit here and try to make this. I'll give it one more shot. I hate giving up on these things, but I don't think I can't even see it. It looks like it's been kind of chiseled out of there. So let me see one last time, and then if I can't get this, yeah, no, that's not gonna happen. All right, so let me get these off here real quick, and I'm gonna use this one instead, so I'll have to do this update again real quickly. It won't take me a minute though. So let me go ahead and pop this back in. And let's go ahead. Now this is going to be the R9 Mini instead. So, I mean, but for what we're doing, it's going to function the exact same. I'm just going to not probably use the used one for this purpose. So let me just do this. Bear with me a sec. All right, let me go to firmware. Go to the RX and go to the Mini, and go to the Flex, and then go to Flex right there. And we're gonna flash it. And I'll hold this real quickly. And what did I not? Maybe I don't have a good connection here. Let's try that again. I know my connection's good. Hold on. We'll try it this way. I think that paper's right into my way here, but let me see. Maybe this way. Let's try it again. Oh, I'm not worried about soldering this right now. There we go. I just have to hold it at an angle. What I care about is the fact that I have a bind button. This little sucker has been beat up and I guess doesn't have a bind button. So I'll be adding like I said, I'll be soldering the wires on for that one. You can see a video on that. If you end up without a bind button, I've got a video. It's pretty simple on how to fix it, but I didn't realize that. So my apologies. I can't solder it. See, the problem is once you solder it, you can't stick the pins in anymore from the update cable, which serves me no purpose then. I mean, I get to soldering it, but it won't help me. This is good. This is doable. I can zip tie that and this will stay connected and be able to do everything I need to do. Gotta find ways around it, man. Besides, I turned my soldering machine off. Sorry. Okay, so we're almost there. Okay, good. All right, now, let me see where I'm at with this. Give me a second, please. 1 second. Gotta make sure I can get this plugged in. Gotta make sure I got power. Make sure this works. Okay. So, let me move this here. Now here I may have to solder it only because I don't think I'm gonna get these wires to hold long enough, but we'll see. Okay, so I'm in bind mode here. Now this is what I wanted to test though. So we're gonna go ahead now and we're gonna go here. We'll click this one, whoops. We'll click page, sorry, page, and we're gonna scroll. And this is what I wanna find out on this end, right? So I'm going to go ahead and change this. This is model 2, I believe. So I'm gonna make it match my model number. And I believe I'm set for 10, that's right, I am set for 10 milliwatts on that side, so I'm gonna click here. And this is where, so now I'm binding and now I'm blinking quick here. So enter, exit, exit.
RF signal critical.
Yeah, be quiet a second. I'm gonna turn off my R9mm or my R9mm and I'm gonna grab an antenna. Oh man.
Telemetry lost.
Be quiet a second. Let me grab this antenna here. Okay. See if I can just stick that on there temporarily. And I can. So there you go. Now, as long as I put enough slack in here, I should be able to.
Telemetry recovered.
Okay, so we're on our flex. Okay. We've done our flex update. We've got our telemetry. We've got our RSSI signal coming through here, running on flex. And then what I can do now is I'm going to go and look at I'm going to use this to tell me. Let's go to SBus. Okay, and now what I need to see. Oh, I don't know if this is going to read it. Oh, you know what? I haven't moved this out. Sorry. I need to move this now over to SBus. My apologies. It's like, yeah, I'm not going to get anything out of that. Okay. So let's get out of this. Turn this off. And so, okay, so now we're bound, right? And so I'm not sure. Now is a good time to ask. So I know that you were saying you couldn't bind before. So were you able to get to this point? For those of you that had a hard time binding your receivers, were you able to get to this point, or was it not working at this point? That's something that I'd like to know the answer to, so that I can find out if you need the firmware that I've got. So let me know on that one, because I know that one of the questions was, and I know you asked me about doing the firmware. So let me see if I can get this one to read here. Okay. Okay, so as you can see on the receiver, on the toolkit, we've got our stuff here. We've got our switches functioning. We can see that we're getting readout here. Okay. All right, and so all our switches that we programmed. So I'm sure you can see that on here, but this is basically the same as doing whatchamacallit, if you had it on beta flight. All right. I put hot glue on my antenna without a doubt. What I do is I take my take your shrink wrap or heat shrink, right? And before you heat it, obviously pull it over the entire bottle, put your glue inside it, then heat it. And what it'll do is it'll melt that glue and it will just start squeezing all that heat shrink around it. And so it ends up making like a seal. It's perfect, right? So it's a really good way. So you can utilize hot glue in a good way there. Okay, so again, I want to get back to this here. Are we good on the Flex firmware? This should hopefully, for those of you that were wanting to watch on how to do this with Flex firmware, this should satisfy any concerns you had. I'm hoping it does, because the firmware and everything we've used worked perfectly. Okay, so that answers that question. I hope. I was hoping somebody could tell me if we can move on, but at the same time, I'm just going to move on anyway, hoping that we're all on the same page. Now, we've done long range, right? So we have long range. We have everything working. And now what we need to do is we need to do like a D16, right? So we did the long range version, and I'm going to take this off now, and we know that that works. So let me go ahead and power this off. Okay, good. And I'm going to put this back. There we go.
Telemetry lost.
Okay, here we go. How do we change the frequency now? Give me 1 second here. I need to put this back real quickly, so because I've got one poor guy that's waiting for the D16 here as well. So, okay, in regard to what exactly? I mean, what is it that are you trying to change the power to get your distance farther, or are you actually trying to change, because the receiver that I have will not drop to 800 in the 800 range, not the ones I have right now. So the question I'm asking is, what is it you're trying to do exactly? Because I'm not quite sure what you're trying to accomplish, unless you're trying to increase the output power. So let me know on that one, and I'll come back and address it. But let me show you something real quickly that may help you. Let me see. Yeah, so you've got your 915 and your 866 here, which you can adjust it here. Not on these ones. I mean, you're talking, you got it working? Hey man, good job. That's the way to do it. You're not going to 815 on this one, not on mine. So you're gonna do you've got your FCC, you've got your 915 and your 866, okay? And you've got to make sure that the receivers you get match those, and that's the only way I can make that work for the FCC versions here. So if you want to adjust them, and hold on, let me go see if I've got one real quickly. Give me 1 second. Let me check my inventory here real quick. Yeah, I don't have anything like that. The 915, maybe 866. I don't really know where that's going. So I can't help you with the 815. I don't have anything that says that. I've got 915 and 866 are the only two that I can really touch here. So I hope that covers it, man. I really can't do much more on that part. But I think the question was, when you initially came, it was to bind it, and the binding is, so let me see if I've got that here. I've got to make sure that mine are compatible, and let me see. think I have any. Give me a question. Give me a second, real quick. So on the, I don't have any that are going to function on that. Give me 1 second. I know I'm not in the camera, but I know you can hear me. Let me just check here real quickly. Let me see. Yeah, I mean, I can't really. I got to be very careful with this one. So, I don't. I can't tell you that. Like, let me make it clear, okay? And I have to be very careful with this. So, in the non-EU is not going to run at that, all right? And I'm trying to. I'm sorry. I'm reading at the same time, and I'm trying to. No, you're not going to be dropping it to 868 from 915 for that purpose. And the FCC version is not going to run on that anyway, and that's what I'm going to be handling here. So I'm not trying to be a jerk about it. What I'm trying to tell you is, you're going to run the way we did it here is the way to run it, and you can boost your power if you want, but not take what I've done here and put it into EU mode, because I believe that's only going to be applicable at EU and not FCC. All right, and I have to leave it like that because if I'm going to put a video together and teach everybody here how to put it like that, I tread very carefully. I hope you understand, but I can assure you that that's not your problem. All right, so because we fly just fine out here in 915 and get plenty of distance. So it's not the 915 versus 860, 866 or whatever. Okay, so let me leave it like that for now, and let's go to the X series. Check your surroundings, check your antenna and stuff, but I'm not going to go into changing that part of it. If that makes any sense. I mean, it's just not going to happen. Okay, so check your stuff. Send me a picture of how you have it set up. Okay, guys. So now let's get going to the X series. So let me get a used one here, which I think I've got. So we can do this, okay? But understand that the hardware is the same, right? So you can do that, and then you have to have your antenna. So just understand that you got to make sure your antenna also supports that frequency. If you're trying to run, I'm going to tell you, if you're trying to run it, and you come over here and you switch it to 868, and you don't have an 868 megahertz antenna, it's not going to help you at all. I mean, your antennas are made specific for that frequency, so I can't tell you what you've got. I can just tell you that if you bought it with a 915, how to mount it on the frame. I have had the most success running an L. I've had great success running it in an L shape. I've had pretty good success running it on the bottom of the arms as long as I've got like a double-sided tape separating it from the carbon fiber. I've had terrible success running it alongside carbon fiber. So just be careful in that area, okay? But I can tell you that you should have no problem running it under FCC and still getting plenty of space, okay? So I would check your antennas. And like I said, send me a picture and I'll tell you, I could try to recommend something. All right, so now that we've done the long range, guys, and I promised the rest of you guys we would do this. So this is going to be, I believe, the XM Plus. Is that right? Yeah, this is the XM Plus. So this is a D16. So I'm going to go ahead and knock this one out now, and this will handle for the rest of you guys that are doing non-long range setups. Okay. So, and I hope I don't lose you guys here. I know it's late, but I know that some people will be watching this when it's not live, so you should still be okay. So at this point, we did the R9M. We set up our stuff in OpenTX. If you've been watching this for the last, yeah, no problem, but if you've been watching this for the last, we've been, we just hit the 2-hour mark. So we've done everything from unboxing to doing the firmware to doing everything. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the XM Plus, okay? So on the XM Plus, and there's some very important information that you got to watch out for on this one, okay? So please pay attention. Let me go back to FrSky's website, and I'll put it on the screen here, and we're going to actually do some work with FrSky and OpenTX, okay? So here we go. So let's do this and this. There we go. We're going to move this over. Okay, so here's a couple things. I'm going to take you to the download page, and like I said, we're going to do this as if we were starting for the first time. So I'm going to go to download page, which I think I'm actually at it already, and I'm going to go down to receivers. All right, and I'm going to find the XM Plus. Be very careful with this one though, because here's where people are going to have the most of their problems. Did I miss it? I always miss some of these, so hold on. Nope, not yet. Okay, let's keep going. XM Plus. We're going to go right here. Okay, so first thing I want to get to real quickly is this. Do not download this, okay? Do not download this file. I will say it again. Don't do it, all right? Here's why. If you download that file, this is FrSky's new, like their new update. Unfortunately though, if you download it, you have to update your receivers and your transmitter, right? Sorry, I'm cleaning my glasses here and because I can't see crap right now. Is that, yeah, that's better. Okay, so the problem is that if you use that file, you cannot add that to any of your non-FrSky made receivers. They have not yet, manufacturers have not yet figured out how to make, they haven't broken that apart, what do you call it? Reverse engineered this version, okay? And rightfully so. FrSky is holding on to their intellectual property, I guess, whatever. I'm not gonna get in an argument about it. But I can tell you this for a fact. The original release of this was terrible, and it didn't work. And I called them about it, and I'm like, this is terrible. And they said, we know, but then the coronavirus hit, nobody could get back and fix it in time. But I will tell you that if you do this, you will have to do all your receivers update, or else it won't work. And once you do that, anything that you have that is not made by FrSky will not work either. So that's out, especially the D8s, okay? So stay off of this. Now, to do your update, and it says here, history firmware that's not compatible. I'm surprised they left it on here, but they did. So click this link right here, and you're gonna download, where's the bottom? Where's my browser thing? No, not that. Here, right here. Okay, so there's the XM Plus. So keep this in mind, guys. Don't just download that new update, okay? I would definitely advise you against it. So let's go ahead and let's click Show in Folder, because we want to get our updates here. So we're going to cut this. We're going to go to our new folder that we made on our desktop, right here, and then we're going to go to our SD card, go to our firmware, go to our FrSky receiver firmware, and we're going to click Paste. Okay, right here. Then we're going to extract this, just like we did before, and we're going to click Extract. Hey, you got it, man. Go cook dinner. Go have a good night. Thank you for your questions, and please email me, and I'll help you out with whatever else you need. Okay. All right. So under firmware, we have our RX. Right. We can delete the zip file. We don't need it anymore. Not rename it. Sorry. We're going to delete it. And under here, we're going to cut this because I don't like having 2 layers of folders, and we're just going to paste it again right here. This way. There's our files. Look at all that right there. Okay. So we're not going to worry with LBT, but usually I delete this, but I'm going to leave these in here this time. And we're going to deal with the FCC. And if you want RSSI to come across your channel, then you're going to pick one of these 2 here, the 8 or the 16. I usually go with RSSI 16, and that's what I'm going to do for this update, okay? So, oh, you can't see this crap. Sorry. There's that. I apologize. There we go. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Under the FrSky here where I was, under the downloads, this is what we're clicking. Do not load this one. This is what will have your problem. So just right here, okay? All right, so anyways, once we've downloaded that and it's in our folders, right here, under our firmware, under RX, we can now delete this folder because it's empty. We took our stuff out of there, so let's delete that. Okay, and now we're gonna go back and we're going to turn our radio off. Okay. Let's get it ready to go back into the computer. And we're going to use our OpenTX to synchronize the cards. So let's go ahead and open OpenTX. All right. So once we're in OpenTX, I'm going to go ahead and just click this button to synchronize the cards, right? So here it goes. Oh, I'm sorry, the cards haven't even loaded yet. It just found it. So this is going to take a second. There they are. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and synchronize and click start, and it's going to it's going to bring over now the what am I trying to say? The XM Plus, sorry, firmware that I just downloaded. Okay. And those are the files right there. The 6 that were created. And once that comes across, I can go ahead and flash this, connect it, and you're going to see this will work, and then we're home free. Everything else should be fine. Okay, now that that's done, we have our firmware, so we can go ahead and close out of our OpenTX, click exit, okay, and then we're going to click on our safe eject here for USB. Okay, and now we can disconnect, scroll down to exit.
Welcome to OpenTX.
Excellent, okay.
Switch warning.
Okay, thank you. Now, I've got to link these up, so I'm going to use these where do they go? Alligator clips again. Hopefully this should do its job. So we'll go, let's do this to here. Try to make this as easy as possible. Oh, I think that's on my bench actually. So you should hopefully be done, hopefully, if all goes well by tomorrow. I will let you know. If that's the one that, if this is what I'm thinking of, it's on my bench. Okay. Let's do this one here. And then all we need is power, which will be the white one, I guess. And we'll go here. Okay, so here we go. All right, one sec. Okay, so now that we've got this connected, we're going to hold our menu button down, click page, go to firmware, and then you're going to see now under RX, we now have our XM Plus. Oh, darn it, you guys can't see. Sorry, here. Now you're going to see we have our XM Plus. Scroll down, and we're going to do the FCC with the RSSI on channel 16. Now, hopefully, if these alligator clips are connected properly, we should be good. So we're going to do that, and we're going to say flash S port. Now, hopefully, we see something light up. There we go. So we're writing. Perfect. While that's writing, I'm going to go see. I think that is the one we're talking about. Let me just verify. Sure this is the one. It's on. Oh yeah, that's it. That one. All right, let's see. I'm gonna put it right here. It's on my bench back there, but let me see. Okay, so we're done here. So let me go ahead and click OK, and we're gonna exit out. Okay, and now I'm gonna disconnect this from here, and I'm gonna get ready to use our toolkit RC again. So let me go ahead and plug this in right here. Sorry, it's just not made for fat fingers, so give me a second. Such a pain to plug this thing in. There we go. Okay. Wires still connected. Let's go into bind mode. And to do that, obviously, we're just going to hold the bind button down. Something. Let me see if I can press that button here. There you go. Okay, flip the power on. I got 2 lights, red and green, so we're ready to bind. Gonna hit our, we gotta change our models, right? Because I'm on the R9M model. So I'm gonna go to the D16 model. And now I'm gonna hit page to get in there, turn to the left to go backwards. And I'm on channel 1. I'm gonna click bind. And I'm going to go to channel 9 through 16, telemetry on. And you can see now that the red light is blinking. That means we're bound. I'm going to hit exit. I'm going to turn off the receiver. Okay, I'll now turn it back on. And what we should see here is we have function. And that's it. We have now bound both long range. Okay, you can see the screen's working, everything moving. All right, guys. So as far as this goes, right? As far as this goes, we have now done everything there is to do. We've set up switches. Okay, now this is basic. Now, I understand, not basic, but I mean, we can go more, we can get much more advanced, right? And we're going to. But after so many people have been writing and saying, okay, I can't get my R9M to work, I can't get my Flex to work, I can't get long range to last, it's like, okay, look, we're going to do it from beginning to end, meaning I'm going to download the software from FrSky's website instead of pulling it from mine. You guys are going to see me do everything exactly how you would do it, right? And so we started from scratch. We did a radio, flashed it, did everything. So it works, and it works perfect. And the whole idea when we started this was try not to blame the hardware because too many people are saying the hardware must be broken. They just give up. I'm like, the odds are very slim. It's the hardware for everybody. Okay, what it is just it's not being familiar enough with it. So we did the R9M with Flex with the updates, and we tested and it worked. We did the XM Plus with updates and it worked, and we did the radio with all the updates. It works. So the next step is for you to tell me what else you need to know about this radio so that I can help you with it, and that can include some scripts, that can include special functions, that can include logical switches, anything you want. For example, if my battery reads this voltage, then my radio needs to tell me. All these if-thens we can set up. So let me know that. But as far as this goes, we're done. I think that this 2 hours has done everything from beginning to end. I don't think you'll have any problems. But if you do, please by all means, contact me through the Cyclone FPV page and let me know. Whatever you do, please do not say, I followed your video and I can't get it to work. Because I can't help you one-on-one every time. What I can do is tell you this. Before you do that, send me all your files, send me a video of what you've tried to do so at least I can try to troubleshoot it, okay? And then, worst case, send me your stuff. I've told everybody who sent it to me, I do their work for free. If you send me your radio and your receiver because you can't get it to work, I do it for free. You pay shipping. I make videos like this out of it. What do I care? So it's fun for me. So I'm not going to charge you to do the work. I mean, you get a freebie. All you got to do is pay for shipping, okay? So if you get frustrated, exactly, don't give up. But most of all, what benefit is to me if I sit there and tell you I'm going to charge you $25 to do this job, it's going to cost you $20 to ship it. By the time you're done, it's not worth the money. So I give my work for free if you ship it. I cannot do it over the phone. I cannot schedule things like that because it takes up too much of my time. But bring it here and I'll do it for free. And I've got people that'll vouch to say that that's exactly what I've done and I don't charge them for it, okay? So other than that, guys, I hope this has been a helpful tutorial for you. Please follow us on Facebook and please, I took that off too fast. So please subscribe to us on YouTube and please be nice. I don't know. That's it. Oh, and by the way, don't forget now, on our website, that's what I want to show you. Hold on. One last thing, and I'll let you go. So check this out. This is really cool. So on the Cyclone FPV website now, something that I did mention, and I do want to show you, is under our news. If you go to news, our route insurance now. Check this out. So I spoke with them today because we know that it's been taking too long for our stuff to. Let's get rid of these. Right? It's been taking too long for our stuff to arrive. Like we ship it out, but USPS is just taking forever to deliver it. Well, part of the route insurance that you get when you check out on our website, and route, I think by default is activated, is after 7 days, and it's right here somewhere. Look, where is it? At least, okay, so if it's lost in transit after 7 days, file a claim and they'll buy you the stuff again. So it's really cool now. So whereas before it was you have to wait, no, you have 7 days. If you don't get it within 7 days of the day it ships, then you get to file a claim and they'll create an account for us with us and they'll buy it for you. So check that out. It's really cool. Okay. All right, guys. Other than that, that's it. It is now 2:15 in the morning. I'm going to turn around and come right back here. Before I go, what is wrong? What was the radio? All right, I'm going to look at this and see. All right, I'll check this out. Okay, I'm going to work on your radio actually right now. I was going to do it live, but I think it's too late for everybody. So anyways, peace, guys. God bless. Spend time with your family. Please make the most of it. I am having a wonderful time trying to spend time with mine. It has been a real pain in the butt, thanks to some ignorant things that have been going on. But I get to see my kids tomorrow, and I love them to death, and I cannot wait. All right, guys. Peace. See you later. Bye.